You have something you need to do. You know exactly what it is. You have the time. You have the skill. The deadline is creeping closer with every hour that passes, and somewhere underneath it all, you actually care about getting it done. And still, you open another tab. Maybe you tell yourself you'll start in 10 minutes. Maybe you clean your desk instead. Maybe you do 5 smaller, easier things so it feels like you're being productive. But the thing you need to do? Untouched. Most people have a simple word for this. Laziness. A lack of discipline. A flaw you're supposed to fix by gritting your teeth and trying harder. But the real reason you procrastinate is far stranger than that, and it has almost nothing to do with willpower. Oh, hey. Quick hello before we go deeper. I'm the Yellow Guy, and this is the channel where we figure out why you do the things you do. Today, 3 things. Why your brain actually pulls this move, why just try harder was doomed from the start, and the one slightly strange trick that finally breaks the loop. That last one's waiting at the end, so stick around. All right, back to your brain. To understand it, you have to stop thinking about time, because procrastination was never really about time at all. Dr. Tim Pychyl spent decades studying this at Carleton University, and his conclusion overturns almost everything we're taught. Procrastination, he found, is not a time management problem. It's an emotion management problem. Think about the last task you avoided. Really picture it. There was a feeling attached to it. Boredom, anxiety, the quiet fear it wouldn't be good enough, a dread you couldn't quite name. Your brain noticed that feeling, and it did what brains are built to do. It looked for the fastest way to make the bad feeling stop. Opening another tab makes it stop. Cleaning your desk makes it stop. Scrolling makes it stop. For a moment, the discomfort lifts and you feel relief. That relief is the reward, and anything your brain rewards, it learns to do again. So procrastination isn't you failing to manage your time. It's you, very efficiently, managing your mood. You're trading a hard feeling now for a worse one later, and in the moment, your brain is convinced that's a great deal. But why would it ever think that's a great deal? Why would you sabotage the very future you're trying to protect? The answer lives in how your brain sees that future you. Dr. Hal Hershfield, a researcher at UCLA, slid people into brain scanners and asked them to think about themselves, then about a complete stranger, then about themselves 10 years from now. Here's the strange part. When people imagined their future self, their brains lit up almost the same way they did for the stranger. Not for them, for someone else. To your brain, the you of next week is not quite you. It's a vaguely familiar person you've never actually met, and it is remarkably easy to hand your problems to a stranger. That's why future me will deal with it feels so natural. You're not lying to yourself. On some deep level, your brain genuinely treats future you as a different person. So you let them carry the weight, the stress, the rushed all-nighter. You feel fine because it isn't happening to you, it's happening to them. And there's a second force pulling in the same direction. Dr. Piers at the University of Calgary spent years building what he called the procrastination equation. Stripped all the way down, it says something simple. The further away a reward is, the less power it has over you right now. A deadline 2 weeks out barely registers. The discomfort of starting is here, immediate, loud. The payoff is distant, quiet, abstract. So, the near thing wins. Almost every time. This is called present bias, and it isn't a personal weakness. It's wired into everyone. Your ancestors survived by chasing what was in front of them, not by optimizing for a Tuesday 3 weeks away. The same instinct that once kept you alive now keeps you off the project that's due. So put it together, a hard feeling you want to escape, a future self who feels like a stranger, a reward too far away to feel real. Against all of that, just have more discipline doesn't stand a chance. And here's the part almost no one tells you. The way most people react to procrastinating is exactly what makes it worse. You miss the start you planned, so you feel guilty. You call yourself lazy, broken, hopeless. But that guilt is itself a bad feeling. And what does your brain do with a bad feeling? It looks for a way to make it stop. So you avoid the task even harder, because now the task isn't just boring or scary, it's wrapped in shame. You've quietly turned a small discomfort into a threat. And the more threatening it feels, the more your brain insists you run. This is the loop. Avoid, feel guilty, avoid more. And Dr. Fuschia Sirois has shown it doesn't just cost you deadlines. Chronic procrastinators carry more stress and, over the years, measurably worse health. The habit you thought was harmless is quietly taxing your body. So how do you break a loop that's built into your wiring? Not by becoming more strict, by becoming less threatening. Pychyl's own research points to something that sounds almost too gentle to work: self-forgiveness. In one study, students who forgave themselves for procrastinating before one exam procrastinated less before the next, not because they let themselves off the hook, but because they stopped piling shame on top. Lower the emotional threat, and the brain stops needing to flee. Then you shrink the task until it's too small to scare you. Not write the report. Just open the document. Just write one ugly sentence. Your resistance is tied to how big the feeling is, so you make the first step feel like almost nothing. And then you do one last strange thing. You introduce yourself to your future self. You picture them, specifically the way you'd picture a friend, the you who at midnight will either be calm or in a quiet panic. When that person stops being a stranger, you stop being so willing to dump your problems on them. None of this is about forcing yourself to care more. You already care. That was never the issue. The issue is that a very old brain is doing a very logical thing, escaping a feeling, protecting the present, mistaking tomorrow's you for someone else entirely. So the next time it happens, the task in front of you, the time on the clock, the quiet dread, and your hand already drifting to open another tab, you don't have to win a war against your own willpower. You just have to notice what that tab really is. It was never laziness. It was your brain trying to help you feel okay. And now that you can finally see it for what it is, you get to choose differently. You have something you need to do. And at last, you understand the strange reason you don't. Hey, me again. If watching your own brain run these little tricks is weirdly fascinating to you, same. So I made another one. Why you physically cannot put your phone down, even when you swear you want to. It's right over here. Go find out what your thumb knows that you don't. See you in the next one.
Ha!